Even with a packed weekend where Drake dropped 3 new tracks as part of his 100 Gigs collection and added some cool behind the scenes footage of his classic albums on the 100 Gigs website, the buzz around his latest stuff was surprisingly low key. Those throwback videos were meant to stir up some nostalgic love from back in the day when Drake was a hip hop legend, but they just didn't hit the mark as his first lost media release did. The only thing that got people talking was his cryptic lyrics that seemed to reignite a beef with Kendrick Lamar, a feud everyone thought was over months ago. This lukewarm reaction hints that Drake might be hitting a rough patch in his career, with fans showing less interest in his work than ever before. The excitement that used to follow his every move seems to be fading, leaving us fairly certain that Drake is completely out of his creative juice. In a surprising twist, Drake has found a way to grab the spotlight again, pulling in the most attention he's had all summer, just as his much talked about feud with Kendrick Lamar seemed to be cooling off. Using his secret Instagram account, Plot Twist, Drake has been carefully crafting an image of artistic rebirth and teasing a big upcoming project. After weeks of posting cringeworthy attempts at deep thoughts, he's finally made a clever move that has everyone buzzing, by sharing a video clip of former NBA player Rasheed Wallace declaring, quote, "Y'all put it on the front page, back page, middle of the page, we will win game 2. Drake has dropped a hint that he's gearing up to drop some new diss tracks aimed straight at Kendrick Lamar. This clever move has reignited everyone's interest in what Drake is planning next, leaving fans and critics eagerly waiting to see how this lyrical showdown will play out. To truly grasp the impact of Drake's latest Instagram story, it's important to dig into the background of the clip he shared. Wallace said those words after the Detroit Pistons lost the first game of their 2004 NBA playoff series against the Indiana Pacers. What happened next was extraordinary as the Pistons turned things around, beat the Pacers 4-2 in the series, and went on to win the NBA championship by defeating the heavily favored Los Angeles Lakers in just 5 games. This stunning upset is one of the greatest in sports this century and is loaded with symbolism, making Drake's choice to use this clip quite telling. By referencing Rasheed Wallace and the Pistons' underdog story, Drake subtly casts himself as the underdog in today's hip-hop scene. This comparison is especially striking given how the Pistons' surprising win parallels Drake's own career journey. Just as the Pistons defied the odds against a star-studded Lakers team with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, Drake might be hinting at his own plans to pull off a similar upset in the music world. Drake's choice to share this clip isn't just about playing the underdog, it's a smart move to get himself and his fans mentally geared up for what's coming. While Drake used to be seen as the clear favorite in his feud with Kendrick Lamar, public opinion has shifted a bit. By picking this particular clip, Drake is making a bold move, drawing a parallel between the Pistons' legendary upset and his own artistic comeback. He's also cleverly using the Lakers and Kobe Bryant as symbols of Kendrick Lamar's hometown and artistic legacy. By bringing up the Pistons' win over the Lakers, Drake is sending a message. Just like the Pistons shocked everyone by beating the Lakers, he too can pull off an upset in the hip-hop scene. This move is designed to shake up his opponents and energize his fans, showing he's still a major player in the game. Despite Drake's earlier claims that he was done targeting Kendrick with his music, his recent moves suggest otherwise. On the flip side, Kendrick's team has started to respond, with a friend and associate Eurolux dropping a cryptic comment about their next steps. Eurolux downplayed the idea of an immediate reply from Kendrick saying, quote, "Nah, we leaving the Canadian alone. Everybody's just working at this moment, so just stay tuned," end quote. This remark hints that Kendrick's team might be holding off before striking back. The comment about "everybody's just working" suggests that Kendrick is focused on his own projects, possibly gearing up for a powerful comeback to Drake's latest shots. Even with the vague comments coming from Kendrick Lamar's camp, one thing is clear: they're not scared of Drake's latest provocations. While what exactly they're planning remains a mystery, it's obvious that Team Kendrick is ready for the challenge and eager to dive into this new chapter of their rap saga. Remember, Kendrick has already cemented his status as a hip-hop legend, so he's got nothing to prove. His legacy is set and his artistic credibility is rock solid. On the other hand, Drake's recent moves have only made him look more desperate and petty. By continuing to stir things up, Drake is practically setting the stage for Kendrick to deliver a major response. By taking a wait-and-see approach, Kendrick Lamar is smartly letting Drake set the pace of their lyrical showdown, which might actually work in Kendrick's favor. Even though Drake has hinted at a round 2 and seems keen to keep dropping diss tracks aimed at Kendrick, his reputation has taken a hit. His music quality and commercial success are at a low point, with his chart positions and streaming numbers sliding fast. This decline makes it harder for Drake to present a solid challenge. By letting Drake call his bluff, Kendrick is essentially daring him to back up his talk. If Drake is serious about escalating their beef, Kendrick seems ready to let him tire himself out, setting up the possibility for a major counterstrike that could cement Kendrick's status as the top lyricist. Also, if you're enjoying this video, kindly give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. As Drake ramps up talk of a round 2 and makes his desire to reignite the feud with Kendrick Lamar more vocal, it's important to consider whether he fully grasps the risk involved. By doing so, Drake risks breaking his brand apart, shifting from being another unique hitmaker and musical powerhouse to an artist obsessed with a personal grudge. This change will likely lead to views of him as bitter and insecure, with his relentless focus on the beef only highlighting his inability to move past his initial defeat. Additionally, Drake's actions could unintentionally strengthen Kendrick's position. Any response from Drake would build on the criticisms Kendrick has already laid down, further cementing Kendrick's advantage. This would paint Drake as an artist defined by his eccentric behavior, making it harder for him to shed the shadow of his own actions. It seems Drake isn't fully considering the long-term impact of his choices. Looking at the situation from this angle, Drake's actions seem incredibly risky, putting his career and legacy in serious jeopardy. The similarities to Ja Rule's fall after being taken down by 50 Cent are striking and serve as a warning for Drake. With the stakes higher than ever, the challenge ahead is massive. To turn the tide and restore his reputation, Drake needs to craft a diss track that isn't just great, but legendary. He has to deliver top-notch lyrics, address the points from Kendrick's Not Like Us, and create a track that's both catchy and appealing to a broad audience. It's quite obvious that this will not be an easy feat. Drake would need to produce a track that's not only lyrically brilliant, but also has an unforgettable beat that resonates with a wide audience. The pressure is on, and there's no room for mistakes. For Drake to shift the narrative and redeem himself, his response has to be extraordinary. Anything less could end up reinforcing Kendrick's edge and sealing Drake's downfall. Moreover, Drake faces an even bigger challenge in his efforts to make a comeback. To create a diss track that not only matches but surpasses the impact of the story of Adidon, he needs to dig up and expose explosive information about Kendrick Lamar that can seriously damage Kendrick's reputation. The stakes couldn't be higher, and once again, there's no room for mistakes. Drake has to craft a track that's both a lyrical masterpiece and a targeted strike at Kendrick's weak points. Anything less could be seen as a failure, solidifying Kendrick's edge and Drake's embarrassment. The task before Drake is monumental, and the chances of success seem very slim. He must either deliver an unprecedented hit or risk fading into the background of hip-hop history. Given Drake's lackluster performance in the first round of the feud, it's hard to imagine a drastically different outcome this time. Even though he's had months to rethink and maybe come up with new strategies against Kendrick, his recent work has been pretty disappointing, showing a creative slump that's unusual for him. While there's a slim chance he's been secretly working on a game-changing track, it seems unlikely. If you look at it closely, Drake's recent moves just look like a desperate attempt to grab attention and stir up excitement around his name. And this approach might just speed up the decline of his career, snuffing out the last bits of his artistic relevance. By sticking to this route, Drake is inadvertently setting himself up as a cautionary tale of an artist who missed his chance at greatness while chasing temporary fame. The fallout from his actions will likely be significant, casting a long shadow over his once great career and showing that sometimes it's better to accept defeat and exit gracefully. If the next round of this beef turns out even half as poorly as the first, Drake's career could be pushed to the edge of irreparable damage. It might seem hard to believe, given how disastrous their initial clash was, but another failure could be a complete disaster for him. By continuing this feud, Drake risks being branded as one of hip-hop's biggest sore losers, which could seriously damage his reputation and cast a long shadow over his legacy. The fallout could be as dramatic as Ja Rule's infamous decline. The fact that we're even discussing this shows just how precarious Drake's situation is. So what do you think about all this? Do you think that Drake is making a huge mistake by going another round with Kendrick? Also, how do you see this playing out? Drop your thoughts down below in the comment section, and if you haven't, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our potential next video on Kendrick's response.